always start with a blank piece of paper. When I first visited First Nations Aboriginal communities here in Australia, I was absolutely overwhelmed by the lack of knowledge of the chronic diseases that are affecting us today.
There are early deaths, there are sicknesses that could have been prevented.
I'm going to do a music workshop about health with ideas and stories from the children of how we can live a healthier lifestyle. Is it possible to sing yourself and your community into a lifestyle change? I'm Shellie Morris, and I want to help First Nations people have a healthy and long life. I was adopted out and grew up in a loving and very supportive white family in a suburb in Sydney. My birth father is First Nations Australia. As an adult, I was just completely drawn to come back to the Northern Territory. When I first visited, I was just so distraught by the massive health issues, heart disease, diabetes, and rheumatic heart fever. It just broke me. However, I've dedicated my life to First Nations people, with music being the tool to inspire for a healthier lifestyle. I'm heading to Milingimbi, a remote First Nations community off the top of Australia. It has a population of about 1,000, the Yolngu people. I'm going to do a music workshop about health. It's not easy at all. Tony Batju is the music teacher at Milingimbi School. He is living with type 2 diabetes, so he fully understands the health issues facing the Yolngu people in his community.
Music helped me to live a long life. Yolngu sings for 1,000 years. Music is Yolngu. That's what I'm thinking deeply. Yolngu were singing with clapstick around the campfire. We sing yams song for their help, water song, fish song for help.
Music is a great way of getting the message of health across because our First Nations people, we were born with music in our blood. We are born with song lines.
We're not hunting gatherers no more. We're hunting in the bush for music.
Is it possible to sing yourself and your community into a lifestyle change? Is it possible to change eating habits through music? When I start a music workshop, I start with a blank piece of paper. To me, that shows great respect.
So what we're going to talk about today is healthy, strong heart.
And then the blank paper gets filled with ideas and stories from the children. So everything is built from the community, for the community.
What does sugar do to our body? What does it do?
Where you want families to start with that good choices of food.
What's a good food? What's a healthy one? We've got water.
And broccoli.
Oh, I love broccoli.
And it's great to see the children coming up with the ideas of how we can live a long life. A music workshop can help with the understanding of prevention.
There is so much diabetes in young people here, so much rheumatic heart disease.
Buzz is the CEO of Thumbs Up, and we are working together adapting contemporary music sounds for healthy choices.
So many people around the world have no idea that the Indigenous population in Australia has a lower life expectancy than the rest of Australia. This is why I do it, to try and break down that horrible statistic of so much disease.
Yeah. And I really believe that if we're building the people which we are, we're building the whole community.
I've been doing these workshops in 60 remote communities, 1,000 or more workshops. We have so much more to do. I feel like I'm walking in two worlds, white Australia and First Nations Aboriginal Australia. It has caused me much grief and depression and confusion about where do I belong.
Need to know where you are, who you are, because you are not just you. You are us. We are one.
Makes me cry.
Ganygulpa is a fierce and powerful Yolngu woman. She is a guide to me when I'm working in Milingimbi.
There are early deaths, there are sicknesses that could have been prevented. And we have to teach the young ones now so that they will harvest. And they will write books. They will tell their stories. They will tell their stories in their songs. They will have joy once again in their heart, and a hope and a brightness in their eyes. They will harvest. They will harvest.
I'm doing this because of the children. I want them to experience the same privileges that I had growing up in that Sydney suburb. Doing these workshops made me feel at peace with who I am. I have devoted my life to this. These music workshops brings life and it brings happiness within, and happy people can change the face of where they're living. The purpose of these music workshops is to build people, empowering the people of remote communities to build courage and strength and hope for their future. It helps us remember where we come from and who we are. Music is my tool to make a change. I believe in the future and I believe in the new generation. Always start with a blank piece of paper.